To paint this patriotic kit, I used 4 different colors. I used a red, white, and blue, of course, and then I also added in a light blue. Now the light blue was a little bit darker than I wanted it to be, so I mixed up some white in there and made it a little bit lighter, and I just played with it until I got it to where I wanted it to be. One of the tricks I like to use when painting is taping down the smaller pieces. You can take a roll of painter's tape or duct tape and just kind of tape it to the table or your painting surface and then stick those little tiny pieces to it. That way when you're dabbing up and down, those pieces will stick to that and they won't jump up with the sponge every single time you dab. So I'm painting all these pieces with my sponge. You can use a regular paintbrush if you like, whatever you feel most comfortable with. 2 small coats typically work better than globbing on a whole bunch at once. So you do a light coat and then you go back in and dab a little bit more for that second coat. So I'm just painting all my pieces. Again, this is just an example, so you can paint this however you want to paint it and with whatever color arrangement. I'm just doing these particular pieces in this pretty light blue. What I'm doing now is adding a little bit of white to the middle to kind of give it more of a, I don't know if it's considered rustic, but just more depth to it. I'm making the white, I'm putting the white in the middle, kind of spreading it around, kind of blending it in a little bit. And I'm going to do it to the round, I'm going to do it to my side, and I'm even going to do it a little bit to the banner. Now this is optional. This is just how I'm painting this particular set and how you can get yours to look like the example. Now you can paint it however you want, and I'm sure it'll be beautiful. I just wanted to show you how I got mine to look the way that it did. Kind of blending it out still. And what's awesome about that is if you blend it too much and you don't like it, just put some more paint over it and try it again. So I did mine a couple times till I got it where I wanted it. After that, I decided which colors I wanted to be, which pieces I wanted to be what color, and then I started divided them out on the tape. So I have land and love on one piece of tape, and then I have home and brave on another piece of tape. And then I'm just kind of dividing out the pieces so that I know exactly what color to paint what, because otherwise I'm not going to remember. So once I had it figured out, I started adding a few more colors. And because I was able to put the pieces on that piece of tape, they kind of kept everything nice and still for me, so I didn't have to worry about it jumping. So I did my first coat, and then of course I'll go back and do a second coat later. Doing the white, doing the red. Now in the picture, there's a little bit of an ombre look, and I will show you how to achieve that ombre look if you choose to do the ombre look. You don't have to. This is just an example. You do what makes you happy and whatever you feel comfortable doing, and I'm sure it'll look amazing. Just painting red around this particular frame. Now with the darker colors, sometimes you don't even have to go and do a second coat. I like to do a second coat no matter what, but sometimes you don't have to. So take a look at your paint, take a look at your pieces, see how it's applying. Just make sure it's a nice even coat. Now I got these particular paints from Walmart. So check your stash, see if you have red, white, and blue. If you do, awesome, you're set. If not, go up to Walmart, get a red, white, and blue, and I will tell you which colors. I think they were flag red, can't even talk, sorry, flag red, white, and I think this was award blue is the color that I used, award blue. And then the light blue was, I can't remember, I will have to look that up. All right, so I'm going to do the ombre. When you do the ombre, you want to deal with wet paint. So I took the red and I put some red at the bottom, and then I went in and I did the blue, and I just kind of blended it together. And this is if you want to do that ombre look. If you don't want to, totally fine. I just thought it looked cute and gave it that extra bit of pizzazz. And then I did the same thing with the blue. So I started by adding a little bit of blue, and then I went in and did some red. And then I kind of just, I took the sponge and I blended it together the best I could. It was harder to do the red over the blue because the blue is a darker color, but I still thought it looked pretty good, even though it wasn't bright red at the bottom. Okay, and this is super fun. I added some little speckles. So you just take a brush and you flick the white or whatever color you want onto your pieces, and then the paint will actually fly, which is kind of fun. So I let that white paint fly wherever it wanted, and this is what I got.